So what do you do when you come across another lead generation site in a city that you want to go into? You're looking at a niche, you're looking at a city, and you discover that one of the competitors that keeps showing up for your keywords is actually a lead generator. Do you run? Do you go into it? How do you know what to do? Okay, and this is something that I was talking literally 2 days ago with my little brother who's also in this business model. He's looking at a city for the concrete niche. And he says, hey, will you take a look at my due diligence? And I open up his due diligence. And I asked him, I said, hey, these sites, I can tell by the name, it was the name in the city. I was like, I'm guessing those are lead generation sites. And he said to me, what do I do? How do I know if I should go into it or not? So here is my underlying thesis is if I'm doing due diligence, okay, for concrete Las Vegas, right? Which I'm just going to use that as an easy example because I'm always in Vegas. It's close to where I live. Concrete's the niche I always talk about. But if I'm doing concrete Las Vegas and I look at my main keywords and I've discovered that the companies that keep showing up again and again, let's say one of them is a lead generation site. Do I run? The answer is this. If you did not know that that was a lead generation site, if you did not know because you didn't have the eyes to see, you didn't know what you're looking for, and you just thought it was another Joe Schmo concrete company, would the city still be an opportunity? Would it still be something you would do if you didn't know? And if the answer to that question is yes, if it was Jack or Billy and you didn't know that it was some lead generator, if the answer is yes, you go for it. Who cares? It's just another competitor. It does not matter. For some reason, we get so spooked. We see another lead generation site and we're like, oh my gosh, they already got it. They already locked it down. Guys, there are multiple companies in every city. There are multiple companies that want to grow. There are companies that want more leads. There are companies that are willing to pay for advertising. One of the very best clients I have to this day is in a city where I avoided this city forever and ever and ever. And I finally decided, okay, I'm going to look at this city. And I looked at it and guess what? Everything looked perfect except for one of the competitors, one of the people that kept showing up again and again was a company. Well, it wasn't a company, it was a lead generator. And I was this close to just going, oh my gosh, I was too late. I shouldn't have done it. I should have done it 2 years ago, whatever. And you know what? I just decided I'm just going to go for it. Worst case scenario, I don't get the client, but you know what? I'm going to spend $100. I'm going to run some ads. And my thought was, maybe there's more than one company that are willing to pay for ads. Maybe there's more than one company that are willing to pay for leads. And I ran it. I did my process. I got a couple leads. I sent them. I met this guy at a coffee shop. And from March of 2020, this is about mid-March, over the top of a car hood, the front of a hood, in front of a gas station where I met them because I pitched them at a coffee shop. He went and talked to his wife. We met at a gas station, signed the contract, gave me the check, gave me the credit card details, and they have been my client ever since, $1,000 per month plus since that day. And if I had seen that lead generation site and ran, I would have lost out on over $20,000 at this point. Okay, closer, actually over $30,000 at this point, I believe. So the answer is, if you see a lead generation site, it doesn't mean that you should run. Does it mean that you should automatically do it? No, but you just need to treat it like it is just another company. Now, if you see, let's say out of the top 3 companies that keep showing up again and again, 2 of them are lead generation sites. Here's what I would do. Excuse me, by the way, I got a little cold, a little allergies, a little snuffle. You can't be perfect, I guess. Sorry. Thanks, God, for the allergy. Anyway, let's say that 2 of the 3 are lead generation sites. Here's what I would do. I would still say the same rule applies, but now I'm starting to go, okay, well, if there's 2 companies, now let me look a little further. And this is what I would do. I would call these companies, I would call these websites, and I would just try and get a quote. I would simply just act like another customer. Now, do not go and click on somebody's ads. Do not go and click on somebody's ads. That's messed up. Like, I believe in karma. That is such a jacked up thing to do. And I guarantee it'll come back around to you and you'll end up getting someone clicking on your ads. Don't click on somebody's ads, okay? But if they're showing up organically, fill out the form, call them, and just see, does that number get forwarded to a company? Is that company someone that was on your list of people to call? Okay, maybe you haven't even built a list, and that's a problem, okay, of companies that you need to call. But I would call, and guess what? When I did this with this city that I'm referring to, I called this website, nobody answered. Called it again, nobody answered. Filled out the form, nobody answered. You know what I assumed and I figured out? They didn't have a client. They were ranked on page 1, top 5. I think they're still outranking me, and they did not have a client. So here's what you guys have to remember. Do not assume just because another lead generator has a website that's ranked that they have a client. We forget that that's the hard part. Everybody thinks getting the website to page 1 is the hard part. Wrong. It is not the hard part. The hard part is getting the client. And once we've mastered that, the freaking world has become our oyster. So guys, when you see this happen, do not run. Look at it critically. If there's only one company that's showing up in the top 3 competitors, if you would still, remember this, if you would still be going into this city, if you didn't know it was a lead generation site, then do it anyway. Okay, now if we're getting into the top 2 people are lead generators, now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna call, I'm gonna see, okay, does this number forward to that company? Okay, does this number forward to that company? Okay, now we have to, critically think and, did the best 2 options get taken by lead generators? Maybe everyone's heard the pitch. Like, I start to critically think at that point, but do not assume because there's a website ranked that they have a client, and do not run because you see another lead generation site or another lead generator. Guys, the easy part is getting the website to Google. The hard part is finding the client. We have the skill set. We know how to get the deal. And sometimes because of that, we forget that we actually have the control. We actually have the upper hand on everybody else. So guys, as always, don't trust me, just try it. Talk soon.